LabCoatAgents podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the LabCoatAgents podcast. And this one's going to be a little bit different today. And if you're not watching, which most of you aren't, I'm holding a cookie that I am about ready to devour. And that's because our guest today sent me a box of them because this is what she does. And I think this is about our 80th episode-ish. This is the first time we've ever had a guest on the podcast who was in the gifting arena. And that is a type of business that is very, very relevant to real estate, mortgage, title, all of the above. And so I'm excited not only to eat this box of cookies, which I'm excited to talk about, because I have a whole box here, by the way, folks. It has LabCoatAgents' name on it. It has my name engraved in it. And it has a box full of 20 cookies. So for those of you not watching, just imagine this, and there's all these different flavors of cookies, and oh, by the way, they taste freaking amazing. And those of you who know me know I'm a bit of a health nut, and I promise you I am going to crush this box of cookies if my kids and wife don't beat me to it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Ms. or Mrs., I'm not even sure, Chelsea Martin with Noms, is that how it's pronounced? Bake Shop.
Noms, just like the Cookie Monster.
Nom, nom, nom. Is that what it is? I love it. I love it. Well, welcome, Chelsea. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So obviously, let's assume that our listener probably doesn't know about you. So let's give them a background on who you are, where you come from, how you kind of got brought up in business, and how you have gotten to where you are today.
Sure thing. Yeah, it's definitely a big happenstance of great circumstance, but yeah, so I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, and we actually got started with our company in 2015, and that kind of was an amalgam of different things happening. My husband now, at the time he was my boyfriend, his father was retired, a retired computer programmer, had nothing to do with cookies, but he definitely liked all my husband's life growing up. He and his sisters got to enjoy cookies that his dad would make just for fun as far as a hobby. He would tinker around with different recipes and send them to their lacrosse games and different things like that. So definitely in the neighborhood, he was kind of known as the cookie man. And because that became such a hobby, he started to make tons and tons of batches of cookies, which meant he would end up having a lot of them. Despite having kids, he still couldn't go through them all. So he would end up making baskets for neighbors and things like that, to the point where people would look forward to them. And they would have a whole assembly line going for Christmas just in their house to create these baskets that his dad had overcommitted, basically. But it was just for fun, and it was really a nice gesture to do during the holidays. And that was just even them growing up. So when I started dating my husband, Trevor, he and I were going on a family vacation with my family, and his dad sent like a little basket of goodies. And my parents are entrepreneurs, and they have a business here in the Valley, and they're the type that kind of go like 1, 2, 6, they're, off to world domination. So they had a couple of the cookies on family vacation, and they were already plotting how he needs to sell them. And, that's something that he had heard before, but never really entertained. And neither did my husband, really, because they grew up with them. So in a way, they almost had like this refined palette of cookies, whereas we're all telling them these are amazing, like you have to do something with them. They're normal for them. So we pulled him a little bit out of retirement just to kind of get some socialization. And he actually ended up selling locally to call centers in the Valley, just like one cookie at a time, sometimes like fun little gift baskets. And he would sell at farmers markets. And slowly my husband started kind of building this out with his father and his sister. And his sister then took on the baking, and we started to scale up a little bit more and more. And by the time the demand kind of outgrew the home kitchen, which they had even renovated into like 2 separate kitchens, that just kind of, by the time they couldn't take any more on, we ended up getting our own commercial space and starting to really build out like a cookie assembly line. And in doing so, we hit a bunch of, different things along the way that caused us to kind of say, all right, where do we live in this space? Because there are tons of cookie companies, and there's, you know, different cookie companies where you go in and it's a bakery and you're sitting down and having coffee. And then there's cookie assortments you can buy online and you buy them for a friend for their birthday. You know, where are we in this? And along that journey, we developed our actual boxes that we ship cookies in. So we decided to deviate a little bit from the traditional basket with cellophane on it, you know, and tried to find a little bit more of a premium presentation. And in doing that, we found that we started making more and more connections in more of the corporate gifting world. And everybody loves cookies. Everyone has a reason to send cookies. So whether it is a birthday or a holiday, we're always going to have the consumer side. But we started to find a really nice space for delivering premium gourmet gifts that people actually want. And I say that in the sense that everybody wants to send a really nice gesture for the holidays or for some sort of special occasion, but it does often become the same kind of gift basket that has like freeze-dried salmon or something, you know, it is a great gesture, but it didn't have that much of a flair of personalization or like, you know, it definitely, while you enjoy it and you're thankful for it, you know that the person went online and they said, I want the medium gift basket that has the bottle of wine in it. And so we started to develop kind of a happy medium of giving something delicious that you can eat, but also giving it in a presentation that's a little bit more premium, and then also has that personalization so that it shows that the person went a little bit of an extra mile, whether that's putting your name on it or your name and logo or their logo. It shows that you thought a little bit more about it. And the, you know, win-win on the side is they enjoy the cookies, but then they also have something that they keep around. And that has been just where the sweet spot is for us, is that we found our clients really love the fact that their recipients enjoy the cookies, but then their branding is on there. And that is amazing for making those connections and keeping those relationships alive. So it goes beyond really just the holiday gift or the birthday gift into prospecting gifts or referral gifts, or, you know, different reasons to say thank you, or in this case, even closing gifts. So there's just a lot of space to deliver premium personal gifts. And that's where we have found that we've really thrived, because we're able to deliver a product like that. So that's kind of where we went.
I love it. I love it. And that's more than I bargained for there. And I just want to say that a couple things, just because I'm now a testament to this. Number one, this is no joke. Like, these cookies are really good. And I was just telling Chelsea before we started, my wife even opened up one of the cookies yesterday, left it on the counter half eaten with an open package, and it just sat there. I don't know why we all walked by it all this time. And then this morning I was like, well, I can't just let that cookie sit there. So I ate it, and I kind of was half testing it. Like, it's been sitting out open, and the thing was still like soft and tasted like it came right out of the package, which is a testament to the quality of the product. But also, and I want to get into this more, which is the whole gifting concept. And as realtors and mortgage professionals, we're all very familiar with this. But this packaging, and there's two different kinds of packaging. I'll let you talk about it. But this one is this box that you sent me. And this has staying power. Like, not only is it going to sit on your client's counter or, you know, office front desk or office kitchen, it then probably is going to have staying power even beyond that. It almost reminds me of a cigar box or something, but some sort of storage, because it's really cool. And if you personalize this sort of thing, that's the trick to gifting, right? Is, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my borrower or my referral partner or my agent or whoever a gift, but how do I get them to hold on to it for a while? So I'm guessing that's where that came from. And I wanted to mention that just because I want people to go check this out. We're always looking. I've been in the business 20 years. Every year I'm searching for something creative, so I'm not sending the same gift over and over again. And this is definitely one of those things. I love it. But I want to digress for a second and kind of go back to, actually, first of all, I want to get personal with you, just completely off subject. You look like you're very fit. How in the hell do you maintain that physique and staying fit living amongst cookies?
It is dangerous. I appreciate that. I try to have willpower. I I definitely build in a cookie or two a day, but it was much worse when we were smaller because the cookies were actually in our office space, meaning we worked at the bakery. There was a small little office that almost became a boiler room because all the people working in marketing or sales were all in one tiny room over here. And we finally ended up getting a corporate office. And for some reason, when the cookies aren't on a conveyor belt going by you, it's a little bit easier to restrain yourself. But I still indulge in a couple cookies here and there because they're like amazing and I absolutely love them. And I love soft cookies. So for me, this is like, they're a dream. But the good news is they're individually packaged, which does help kind of preserve the freshness, and it's great for offices. But what it's also great for is when they are shipped over to our fulfillment center and they sit there, I feel a little bit less inclined to keep opening the packages. But you got to have a couple in your life. They're so good.
Every day, I imagine. So let's talk about just kind of the art of giving. And when it comes to real estate, you know, I think there's a lot of agents that you might be listening to this right now thinking to yourselves, okay, how is this going to improve my business? What is the relevance to my business? And there's a reason why we decided to have her on the podcast, because A, it's very different, and B, we think it's very relevant. And this is the kind of thing where, you know, at the end of the day, how you perform in a transaction and the service that you provide, and how you are conveyed as a human being, ultimately are, you know, obviously are the bee's knees to how you win relationships and win long-term business and whatnot. However, this is a component of the business that has been around for a long time. And the first thing that comes to mind when I think of gifting is Cutco. They're at every trade show. They're at every real estate, function when we were going to actual events. But so that's what we initially think about. And we think about that because it's got staying power. It's always going to be in the drawer, in the utility drawer, in the knife drawer, whatever, in their kitchen. So how do you feel like you differentiate yourself? Because like you said, you guys thought about a business strategy. How do we differentiate ourselves? How do we fit in this space? There's a million cookie makers. So how do you feel like you fit in the real estate space versus the other businesses like Cutco's that are out there?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think it depends on the industry, but there are always going to be a ton of other gifts out there. And I think something like Cutco actually is a really great gift. But I think the thing about this industry is your clients are long-term clients, and they're not turning around every, week or so buying a house or doing things like that. And so, say that you do send that, I think our gifts make excellent closing gifts, but say that you did the Cutco products for a closing gift. Well, you still have years and years that with these clients that you're still maintaining relationships and making connections and getting referrals from them and just checking in with them, because this is a real relationship that you have. And so you're not sending knives every season, every holiday season, every milestone, because really, there's a bunch of different touch points in the journey for a client before they buy or sell, but then there's the maintenance after too. And so you do the closing gift, but you also might have a holiday gift or a house anniversary gift or a referral gift, a thank you, or something like that. And so I think we fit really well in there, where it's not necessarily a higher priced item, but it is still has staying power. Like you said, it's still useful, and it is still something that they have that reflects their relationship with you and that you reached out and took the time. And so I think that there's a place for each in there, just depending on where you are in that journey.
Awesome. And as you were saying that, I was thinking to myself, the thing about gifting is, because it is a perpetual, kind of quandary that you're always trying to figure out. Like in fact, just the other day, I got a text from an agent who we had given out like lawn chairs, like folding chairs. And every time they used this chair, it seems like they would text me and be like, "Hey, I got marketing for you." And I had texted her back saying, "Man, it's been years since we gave that to you." And I thought to myself, not a bad gift, right? I mean, it has staying power. But I think with something like this, what differentiates it in my mind, because there are other food products, there's the fruit baskets, right? There's obviously flowers. There's the traditional thing, like you said, the salmon, or like the sausages and crackers. But I feel like cookies are just like a feel good. And it's almost like something that not only can you brand it and have differentiating branding, and it has some staying power beyond the cookies, but it just makes them feel good. And so if you're a real estate agent thinking about, all right, I'm trying to find that next thing or that consistent product, because again, every year, like I said, I'm coming up with something. I'm not going to send them a chair every year. I'm not going to send them a knife every year. I'm not going to send them a koozie every year. This is the kind of product or gift that I could give reoccurring, which also gives them that feel good feeling, right? Which is what I'm trying to convey, right? I just, you worked with me, you probably like me. And so now you're just going to like me even more, because every time I send that batch of cookies, you're like, I just have that good feeling, right? I mean, so when you guys got into this space, and I assume, and I guess I'll ask you this question, your product doesn't sell, I assume, it sells to multiple industries. What is the industry that you sell the most to?
Actually, I would say real estate and mortgage are at the top. The other ones that we have are more of like software as a service type of companies, and their main objective is prospecting. So a lot of times it's trying to get their foot in the door with a meeting or a follow-up to a meeting, because we are in such an interesting place, especially now, but we were in an interesting place months ago where everything is so digital that it's really hard to cut through the noise when somebody is opening up their email inbox and it's just marketing email after newsletter, after catchy email subject line, after how do I get you to open this email, and we're all smart. We know the tricks. We know if you hit, if you type RE : it looks like a reply so that you're more likely to open it. We know if you put the subject line in lowercase letters, maybe it looks more casual. So we know that stuff. So a lot of people have shifted into a direct mail strategy again, which seemed like, old news, but now when something lands on someone's desk, one, now they can touch it, they can feel it, they're seeing it, it's not in their inbox. They can't just delete it before. And two, it's cookies. So how can you be mad about that? So a lot of people use that as like a follow-up or just to get your attention, which is why our different product styles work for different things. So in this case, like you were saying, you might have clients that have referrals that maybe you just want to introduce yourself, and it's worth making that connection of sending like a little 10-piece box of cookies, but it's got your logo on it. So it's a little bit of a like lower tier in regards to not like the robust wooden box, but it still gets their attention. It leaves this positive intro in their mind, and it makes that mutual connection between your current client and hopefully a future client. So that's I think that's the biggest use other than real estate and mortgage that we have is more of like companies trying to get new clients.
Which makes perfect sense. And if you're a real estate agent or mortgage broker or title or whatever you are, in a lot of cases, we're probably talking to a lot of team leaders, and you're talking to brokers, and you're talking to people who are recruiting or attracting talent, or you already have staff. I mean, I can't tell you, I have about 70 employees, and the times that we'll do big events and have a lot of fun, and that's cool and stuff. But the times that I send a handwritten card with a little gift card, or the times I do something just very simplistic like that, goes a long, long way. And I can promise you that my staff are going to receive noms at some point, because now that I've been introduced to your company, because it's such a unique, feel good way to just, like I said, I mean, cookies are just, I don't know. It's like, whatever it is to the American way, cookies are kind of that way, which is a great segue to a question that I saw on one of your interview topics, which was how good cookies save marriages, friendships, and lives, maybe business relationships. Let's get your take on this here. So why are cookies actually so important? Maybe this would have helped a lot of divorcees to not be divorced. Is that what you're saying here?
Yes, exactly. We should have just had cookies, sat down and enjoyed a cookie together. I think for us, like, and of course we're a fun company. It is made up of my husband and I and his two sisters, so my sisters-in-law. We're kind of at the core running this, and then of course have our other team members. And it's I think for us, it all started around a cookie, and that's all about relationship building, right? So we were, they knew their cookies as they were growing up, because at the end of games, they were having them and sharing them with friends. And as they grew up, they're sharing them with the neighbors. And then my husband and I share them with my family, which then causes them to kind of share them with different people in the community and farmers markets. And we started to just really know that at the core of our mission, what we're trying to do is deliver joy and make connections and build relationships. And so that is our company mission. And we really believe it starts with the cookie, which is just, like you said, a feel good just thing. I mean, I'm not saying freeze dried salmon isn't a feel good thing, but just, it doesn't have the same ring to it. So, so it's just something that makes you smile, that you enjoy. And so sitting down with colleagues or loved ones, because it's a birthday or it's a celebration, in some kind of way, it brings people together. And that's what we're about, because, we're a business, but at the core, it was all about making people happy.
I love it. So let's talk a little bit about, you guys have been in this business for how long now?
So we started in 2015 is when we were out of the home. Yeah.
2015. So tell us, what is the best story that you've heard about somebody gifting a box of cookies? So maybe like the best story, like the best feel-good story, but I'd also like to know, like, what was like one of the more unique ideas that you've heard of specifically related to real estate? Have you received feedback from anybody on this kind of stuff?
Oh, that's a good question.
Anything that just made you like almost, like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Just makes you feel really proud.
I think something, I don't know, these aren't really stories as much, or single stories, as much as I think for me, something that makes me feel really good and proud, just as a business owner in general, is hearing people from outside of the state reach out and say that they had our cookies somewhere. So that, and I know that's kind of simplistic, but for us, like, building this out of nothing and with your family is a very interesting thing in itself, just working with family. But then also, we all have very different personalities, and some of us are a little bit more cautious, and some of us are a little bit more risky. And so when you're building that all together, there's different leaps that you'd take if you were on your own, or there's different directions you'd go with when you're on your own. And so you never know, sometimes you never know what the company would be if, like, you took those risks. And so you always get nervous, like, okay, are we making the right decision if we're doing this or this or this? And so working together and seeing success, it feels so much sweeter, because it's just like all together. It's something that we did together as a family. And so when for example, I was here in Phoenix, and my sister-in-law, not in this family, but like my brother's wife, she was at a conference or something in California, and she got a box of cookies, and she took a picture of it. And I guess, wherever she was at this conference, she's like, where did you hear about this? Where did you get this? Because she stopped in her tracks seeing them there, and I think for her, she's like, how did they get outside of Arizona? Because we're just, in our little bubble working away, but we ship nationwide. And so I think seeing other companies that are outside of Arizona that aren't connected to us in any way, as kind of strange as that sounds, is really like heartwarming, because it just feels like, okay, we are growing, and we are taking the right steps, and we are, and those normally, when you hear somebody ordering, at least me, because I'm not in the sales department or anything, it's all like friends or family. So you're like, okay, am I just, making boxes of cookies for friends and family, or do other people know, are we doing what we want? So or doing what we want to accomplish. And I think when you get to see a presence somewhere where your family member happens to be, that has nothing to do with you, and then you see people using our cookies for gifts, it really it just makes us really feel like what we're doing, we're on the right path, and we're we're actually growing. So that, I know that kind of sounds silly, but for us, it's like really cool, because like I said, my husband and his family always thought, well, these are just normal cookies. But like when you actually see the impact, and that people are finding value in these gifts, and they're using them for conferences or at room drops to make their own impression and make their own connections with other people, it's just like full circle. Okay, that's what we wanted. That's really cool to see it in action. So I think that's a really big one, in regards to just things that make us heartwarming. We have a lot of strange stories, but like those, the feel good ones, like it really makes us feel like this is what we're doing. We're on the right path. This is why we're doing it, and keeps us, motivated to move on. I think with real estate, I haven't heard anything, but I might be the wrong person to ask, so I might have to get back to you. But I haven't heard anything out of the ordinary, like any crazy stories with them. I mean, we've had the full gambit as far as what they're used for, in regards to whether it's like open house or a holiday gift. There are some funny ones, like a lot of people like to etch their faces on boxes, which is pretty funny. But there's nothing too crazy out of the ordinary. We are working in the future to try to develop some cool upgraded boxes that have different features, if you will, that I think will lend themselves really nicely to real estate in regards to like video. And so I think that'll be a really cool, unique opportunity for people in the industry to send a box of cookies with like literally, possibly a video message with it or something like that. And I think that'll be a really nice stepping stone too. And we'll see a lot of creativity there.
Interesting. That was going to be my next question, was what does the future hold for a company like Noms? I mean, do you guys stay out? Well, so you already mentioned one thing, which is really cool. But do you stay just right in that cookie lane, or do you guys expand, or what is your mindset on that?
So our first mission was do one thing well, and really try to nail that down. So the big things for us were getting the customization options really refined. And so with our classic white boxes, we do the full color sleeves. With our wooden boxes, we do laser etching on the lids, and you can do one side, both sides. We do everything in-house. So it's super fast turnaround times. We're not outsourcing things. And we really that was a huge mission for us, is how can we do really great products or really great gifting that looks premium, that has a fast turnaround time. So, if you're doing 100 boxes or 200 boxes, most people are doing, 5 or so if they're talking in the real estate industry at the same time, because your clients are in different stages of their journey. But if you're doing 200 boxes or 300 boxes, we're doing everything in-house, and it's shipping out in 2 days. And so that was really important to us. Now that we have been able to kind of nail that down and get a website where you can upload your art directly online and actually order your gift boxes, we have started to look more at, okay, how do we grow the product offering? We are still Noms, and we are a bake shop. So this season, we're going to be rolling out brownies and bars. That is something that we hadn't offered before. So those are like brownies, blondies, pecan bars, things like that. So that's kind of an upgrade, but it still is a baked good. In addition, we are working on our boxes. So this video box thing is something that I think we're working on, but we also have started to implement video already. So in small ways, like right now, if you send a gift box to somebody, there's a little insert inside that says, someone sent you a gift box, like tell them thanks. Because believe it or not, that actually there is a tremendous fall off with people actually saying thank you, even though they are very thankful. So we kind of put a prompt in there, and it allows the recipient to send a video message back to you. that says like, hey, we just got these cookies, like, thanks so much for this. And I think while doing that, it also prompts them to likely take a video of their box and share it, you know, so that they are sending pictures on social media or on their stories that says, I just got a box from Jeff, look how amazing it is. And it's got your branding and things like that on it. So it does kind of help prompt them to start to share that too. So that's something we currently already do. And then we have, you know, more opportunity on the horizon. I think after that, we'll start to expand a little bit more into additional options. Of course, we've been brainstorming the normal stuff, like what can we include in there? Is that coffee or wine or things like that? But we want to make sure we're in compliance with everywhere we're shipping to, which is nationwide right now. So, so we're looking into all of that because, like you had said with the chairs, we feel the same way with the cookies. Like we want you to send them their different styles of boxes for different occasions, but we also understand that you don't want to send you know, a medium wooden box for their birthday, their anniversary, their holiday. You know, you want a little bit of variety in there. And so we try to do that between the different styles of box and then soon with what's inside the box as well.
That's cool. I mean, that video thing, if you guys aren't paying attention or you stepped away for a second or you zoned out for a minute, that is going to be an incredible inclusion. Beyond the fact that the gift itself is just really cool, the fact that you can include a video, which is, you know, super personal. It doesn't get any better than that. You don't realize this, but you're talking to somebody who actually has, you know, I'm involved in the business video school. We teach video to the real estate community. So video is a big part of my business and our business. So I love that. I love that they can respond, especially if they can respond on social media, which is just a way to basically brag on you and create more branding and more visibility. That's really, really cool. So if there's any, even if you don't like cookies, that's a really good thing right there. That is incredible. I have not heard of that before. So that's awesome. So that's exciting. I love to hear that. I think that's fun. When it comes to the cookies, and I mentioned this in the beginning, there was that you sent me a box of 20 and there was, I think there was like 5 different flavors, maybe it was what it was in each one. So how many varieties of cookies are there? It's not just chocolate chip and very basic cookies here. We're talking, I mean, one of them was a peanut butter and jelly cookie. That was the first one that I actually ate because I thought that was really interesting. I just ate a confetti sugar. Sugar cookie is pretty basic, but it was cool looking, right? How many different flavors of cookies are there and what are some of the most popular weird ones? Not chocolate
Yes,
chip.
absolutely. So we have about right now in our inventory, I want to say about 16, and it's because some of them change. We have, so peanut butter and jelly, like I'm super proud of because I campaigned very hard for that. My sister-in-law, she does all the baking, and now that she's kind of taken on the recipes, now she's also done more of the product development because she took all the old recipes, but now we're introducing new ones. And so she's really spearheaded the flavor department. And I campaigned really hard for that peanut butter and jelly. So it is the love of my life. But yeah, we do have classic flavors. So, you know, we do have your chocolate chip or an oatmeal raisin. We also have like maple cinnamon oatmeal. And then we try to deviate a little bit. So we have things like peanut butter s'mores, and that's a peanut butter cookie with a marshmallow in the middle and a Hershey's Kiss. We have berry shortbread, which is the one you had in the signature assortment. And that has, I call it, it's like an adult Pop-Tart, but really, I don't know if a cookie is an adult Pop-Tart, but it's that could be a breakfast cookie for me. It's like got a raspberry filling. It's got this shortbread outside cookie part with almond extract in it, and a frosting that has a little bit of an almond extract in it as well. And then we have cinnamon pumpkin butter in the fall, and that's incredible. Basically anything, we have a lot of shortbread variations that are fan favorites. So in the summers, normally we would have pineapple coconut shortbread, and that is just like a pina colada, I guess, in cookie form, just without the rum. And we have a lemon poppy seed cookie. So that's kind of like a breakfast cookie too. And we also have gluten-free, which is the peanut butter s'mores, and vegan, which is our maple cinnamon oatmeal, brown sugar, banana. The one that you had was our signature assortment. And you're right, there was like 5 flavors. we kind of, with that one, it's our most popular for gifting. And so we kind of did like a little bit of a spectrum of flavors. That way there was something, you know, if you love chocolate, our chocolate crinkle was in there, which is like the brownie cookie that has powdered sugar on it and is really fudgy. But if you don't love chocolate, there's the berry shortbread or peanut butter or confetti sugar, which confetti sugar is kind of like a very neutral, but that is a kid favorite because I think all the sprinkles.
Colors.
And
Yeah.
so it's good when you're sending it out to a family or someone that you don't know if they're bringing it home to their family. The kids absolutely love it. So we kind of use that assortment as a great gifting opportunity to kind of hit any flavor note that somebody might like in the cookie form. But yeah, we switch them out depending on the season. We have more of like a molasses gingerbready flavor in the holidays, caramel butter pecan. Trying to think if there's any I missed as far as funny flavors.
I mean, if you're not hungry right now listening to this, you're not either listening or you don't like cookies. Something's wrong with you. I imagine that the hits you're going to get to the website after this goes live is probably going to be pretty strong. And with that said, let's tell the listener how they can find you. Where's the best place to order? But then also, if you want, why don't you tell them like what kind of the price points are and what the quantity sizes are? Give them all that information so we can.
Absolutely. So you can find us on social media. We're on Facebook. Our full name is Noms Bake Shop, and we're on Facebook under just our full name, Noms Bake Shop, or on Instagram, and our handle is @GetNoms. So just GET, N as in Nancy, O, M as in Mary, S. And then our website is also getnoms.com. And there you can order online and you can actually do your customization as well. So we have boxes that start as low as $29.99. That's our classic white box, which is, if you are watching, it's just a kind of rigid white box. And it has a magnetic closure, so it's more of a premium feel. It's not really just that flimsy cardboard. Full color on the inside, and that's 10 cookies for a small. Starts at $29.99. That all of our prices include shipping, and we ship nationwide, so there's no extra for that. You can add a full color 4-panel sleeve on this for $1.99 a box, and there's no minimums for anything. We go all the way up. Our deluxe boxes start at the small size at $39.99, shipped and customized, everything. And we go all the way up to 45 cookies in a large wooden box, etched for $89.99, shipped out.
That includes etching.
It includes etching, it includes shipping, it includes the cookies all out the door. We don't have any minimums, so you don't need to pay a setup fee to do it. We have a designer in-house. So if you said, hey, what we have run into is with some real estate professionals or even just people that aren't sure what they want to send, they don't necessarily have a logo, or they just want to put their name with maybe the broker logo. They don't necessarily have a personal one. So we have a designer and staff. If you had the elements of what you're envisioning, you can always reach out to us and we can design something for you. So if you just go on getnoms.com, if you have your logo, you can upload it, or you can just fill out the contact us form, and we're happy to help design or give you a mock-up of like what it would look like, just to help you out. We're all here to help make basically anything come true. We also can design like happy birthday or happy housewarming, things like that. And so everything is at getnoms.com. We do offer bulk purchases. So if for some reason you were doing a large order for the holidays for all your clients, we do offer discounts based on hitting certain tiers. So that's something that if you've just filled out the form, one of us will be happy to help give you all the details.
Cool. And you do events too. I hear that. So, I mean, can you do something separate? Just if you wanted to do an event, you didn't need the special packaging, but you just wanted to kind of lay stuff out, you could do that?
Absolutely. So if somebody was like, hey, I'm either doing an open house and they're local, they're always welcome to pick up. But even if they're not local, because we ship, we'll just put them in a different box. But if they said, hey, I want 500 cookies, 100 cookies, any of that, above 50 cookies, we do sell individually and can ship them out.
Awesome. Can you get the actual cookie packaging with logos on it or no?
So we can get that packaging. It'll still have the color that kind of slants across the side. for the flavor, but we can pop your logo on top. We do have a way to kind of brand it. We don't repackage like printed, but we have a sticker that'll fit over. And
Cool.
so if you wanted to do that for an event with your logo or whatever the event design is, we can do that.
Very, very cool. Well, this has been awesome, different, awesome. I'm probably going to eat another one. I just ate a confetti sugar, and I I apologize for the listeners if you had to hear me chew. I don't think you could, but because they're soft, because they're so soft, you can't hear me chewing.
Oh, exactly.
This has been fantastic. I mean, I think this is a amazingly clever idea. I think you should thank your father-in-law for all of us and for anybody who gets to try these, because clearly he has a pretty strong knack in the kitchen, and we're glad that he's shared it with the world. So again, folks, it's getnoms.com. They're also on Instagram, which is @getnoms. You said at Facebook, it's Noms. What is it? Noms.
Just Noms
Bake Shop. Got it.
Yep.
Awesome. Perfect. This has been absolutely fantastic, Chelsea. It's been fun getting to know you. It's been fun getting to consume your product and share it with the world. Hopefully, we're going to start seeing a bunch more Noms boxes in people's homes and in people's offices. Hopefully, we're going back to the offices here sooner than later. But this has been great. I really appreciate you being on today. It's good to have something different than a knife. No offense to all of my Cutco friends, but it's good to have something a little bit different. And I think there's nothing better than cookies and branded, and this is just fantastic. So thank you so much for being a guest today. Again, folks, go to getnoms.com. You will not regret it. If nothing else, just order a box for yourself and test them out. I don't think you're going to regret that either, and it'll be a great gift, because guess what? A couple months from now, we're getting into the holidays, and it's that time of year. So nothing screams Christmas like cookies. So perfect timing. Chelsea, awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, and hopefully we'll stay in touch.
Thanks, Jeff.
LabCoatAgents Podcast.